Okay, so inventory, which is chapter 19, and you will see, if you look at it, basically we have two different types of methods of accounting for inventory. One's the periodic system, and one's the perpetual. Okay, and we also have what we call FIFO, LIFO, moving average, and specific identification. So, as I've said, when you're accounting for inventory, we know that we've got cost of sales in our income statement, and we've got inventory in our balance sheet, don't we? So what happens in a business is that obviously we buy a whole lot of inventory, and then we sell the inventory. So we've got to determine what is our cost of sales figure going to be, and what is our closing inventory figure going to be. And it's not that simple if you think about it, because what actually happens is you buy inventory. Say at the beginning of the year you buy inventory and it might cost you $10 to buy one box, and you buy 100 boxes. And then during the year the boxes go up in price. So maybe 6 months later you buy another 100 boxes and they're now $11. Okay? But you're selling them during the year. So when you sell them, do you say the cost of sale per box is $10, or do you say it's $11? Okay, so that's the question, and it really depends on what system you're using. Are you using what we call the FIFO method, the LIFO method, the weighted average method, or a specific identification method? FIFO, what is FIFO short for? First in, first out. So in other words, if you purchase, okay, so for example, say I purchase 10 boxes at $3 each. Okay, I then purchase another 12 boxes at $4 each. And then say I sell 11 boxes. Okay? So I sell 11 boxes, and I say to you, what's the cost of sales figure, and what's the closing inventory? Okay. So assuming we're using the FIFO method, what would your answer be to that? So I sell 11 boxes. Right, what's my cost of sales and what's my closing inventory?
34 as cost of sales and closing inventory.
Okay, so you say 34 is your cost of sales.
44.
Okay, so how did you work that out? So what you said was?
It was 34 for the cost of sales and 44 for closing inventory.
Okay, so what did you do there? You said, okay, we've sold 11 boxes, first in, first out.
Yeah.
In other words, we've sold those first.
Yes.
Okay, so we sold 10 boxes, which cost $3, which is 30, and we sold one box, which cost $4. And you're quite right, you get a figure of 34. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Your closing inventory will be?
11 times 4.
11 times 4. Quite right. Will be 44. Okay? Questions? Okay, so what if I said to you, instead of using FIFO, we're using LIFO?
It would be 44 as cost of sales.
So you said the opposite way around?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying instead of we sold 11 boxes, so we're actually going to sell these first. So we're going to sell 11 at 4. 44. And our closing inventory will be 1 at 4 and 10 at
3.
quite right. It's the opposite way around, isn't it? Okay. If I'm using the average method and I sell 11 boxes, what do you think we're going to get for that? So I use the weighted average method. Okay, average method. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go, okay, got 10 boxes at $3, that's 30. 12 boxes at $4, that's 48. Total that up, 78. And I'm going to say how many do we have? We have 22. So therefore the average cost was
3.55.
3.55. Okay. I'm trusting you. 3.55, so therefore, if we sell 11 boxes, it's going to be 3.55 times 11, and that's going to be our cost of sales. So whatever the answer is.
39.
Okay, 39. And in this case, our closing inventory will be the same, won't it? You agree? Okay. Our closing inventory will be the same. So that is average. The last one was the specific identification one. And in that case, we say, okay, we sell 11 boxes, and we sell 6 from here, and we sell 5 from here. So we actually know exactly which ones we've sold. And obviously in that case, it's pretty straightforward. We just simply go 6 times 3 is, and 5 times 4. So therefore our cost of sales will be 38. That's our cost of sales. And our inventory will be whatever's left over, which is 4 at 10, 4 at 3, and 7 at 4. 12 and 28. 40. So can you see for each of those, so I've done 4 there, FIFO, LIFO, average, and specific identification method. You can see that your cost of sales is different for each one, and your closing inventory is different. So depending on which method you're using, your cost of sales and inventory is going to be different. Periodic method is a lot easier than the perpetual method. The perpetual method is a lot more time consuming because you actually have to work out periodic. It's right at the end. You say, okay, what's my cost of sales and what's my closing inventory? And you can actually work that out right at the end. You say, okay, I've sold that many, I've got this many left. Depending on which method we're using, I will then go, okay, FIFO, I work it out accordingly, LIFO, I work it out accordingly. So basically at the end of the year, you just say how many have I sold, how many have I got left, and you then basically work out what the values of each of those are going to be. But with the perpetual system, you actually have to work out each step of the way what your inventory is worth and what your cost of sales is. Okay, so let's just say, for example, we're using FIFO. Okay, and I say I bought 5 boxes and they cost me $5. Okay, so my inventory is, I'm going to have purchases. Is that all? That's all, is it?
sorry, that's it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to just move this a bit.